Hello friends, welcome back to the channel again. We are doing a series on love, marriage and dating. So today I want to discuss with you about when is the right time for marriage. Is there a ideal age to get married, or are you ready for marriage? If you look at the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, you see a lot of people, especially men and also women, they were getting married during their adolescent age itself, or they were just completing teens, or some of them were just in teenage, they were getting married. But it's probably more of a cultural thing that they got married in their young age, but it's not really spiritual that we can say. So ideally then, when should I get married? If you look at the worldly things, the marriages, or the movies that we watch, the novels that we read, it's all, the marriage is more about very emotional. If you ask somebody who's in 18 or 20, either a boy or girl, do you want to get married? They will probably say yes, because we automatically have an attraction towards an opposite gender, and we want to be with another person, we want to be loved, or we want to be in a relationship. So it's obvious that we want to get married soon, but we don't think really through all these things, because we see only the positive things that we see around us, especially that what we learn through movies. You see a lot of romance happening in the movies, the songs that they sing and everything. But marriage is more beyond the fairy things that we hear or we see, because it's a practical thing. Marriage does have a lot of difficulties, challenges, but it's a good thing. Marriage is something, as I said, it's really something God has given us as a gift. So when should I get married? If you are prepared to leave your parents and ready to start a new family with another person, you should probably get married. That's what we read in Bible, that clearly it says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, in Ephesians 5:31. So we all have a very emotional bond between whether if you are a boy or girl. Especially the boys are so much attached to their mother, and girls are so much attached to their fathers. So we all have a very emotional bondage to our parents. It's not wrong. It's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, we should be able to come out of that and should be able to accommodate another person in our life, and should be able to start a new family with another person. And we should be emotionally prepared for that. Because after the marriage, your spouse becomes the number one person in your life. It's not your parents. It's not your sibling. Okay, so you need to be prepared to come out of the house and leave and cling on to your wife or husband. And also, culturally also, we need to think about the circumstances, especially if you're a guy. You need to be in a position that you have your own job, and you're able to earn a reasonable income, and you're able to provide for the family. If you're not settled down, and if you're still looking for a job and you're unemployed, you should probably postpone your marriage. And also, if the things that need to be set right in your house, or you might have some financial burden, or you might have some responsibility to your home that you might have to fulfill, and you must finish that in cultural context, especially in our Indian context, and probably think about marriage. And also, I want to tell this to boys and men especially, that you need to be willing to sacrificially love your wife, because all alone we lived our life alone, probably single, we were enjoying this and that, we were going around with your friends, and everything, our entire life was revolving around us. We are so much, in a way, we are so much people who are with selfish nature, that if you are not really ready to, put another person in your life first, and able to sacrifice your time and your love and everything for that person, you are probably not ready for the marriage. So the sacrificial love is what expected out of the husband to their wives. That's what we read in Ephesians chapter 5:25. Husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. How Christ has sacrificed in spite of our weakness, in spite of we being sinful people, he sacrificed his life and shed blood on the cross for us. So even the other person is not up to your mark or not up to your standard or not the very ideal person that you might have want to have in your life. But then in spite of that, you need to be sacrificially, selflessly love that person. And are you ready to love that person? If you are really have that kind of mindset, probably you can get married. But at the same time, I want to tell this to the girls or women that you need to be willingly submit yourself to your husband. That's what we clearly read in our Bible. That you need to respect and submit to your husband. I'm not saying that women are inferior. I'm not saying women are something lower human being than men. But that is not what Bible says. But at the same time, the Bible clearly says that the women need to be willingly submit to their husband. You need to think through this, because you all probably want a person in your life that you can boss around. Especially husband, you think, the girls that might think that I want somebody in my life so that I can boss around or dominate that person, or I can have somebody in my life who can take my orders, or I can give instructions and he can be my servant. But that's not the idea that Bible is talking about, because husband is a leader, or he is a head of the household, and women should actually be very willingly submit to their husbands. If you do not have that mindset, probably you should pray about it and ask God and prepare yourself with the correct mindset. Because the world might tell too many things, and the world might tell something different totally, because especially when you're in the era we're talking about feminism and things like that. But Bible is saying something different to that, and you must think through that. And lastly, marriage is ultimately, it's not a union of two perfect people. Even though he is a believer, even though if you marry a good Christian, a godly man, or a godly woman, these two persons actually, they are sinful people. They are coming together with their sinful nature. They are getting sanctified each and every day. So marriage does have a lot of difficulties and challenges, but we should be able to grow together as husband and wife in marriage, so that we can build a family which can glorify God ultimately. The purpose of marriage ultimately, as I told you in the previous week, that to glorify God and to bring godly offsprings in the world, so that God's kingdom can actually be established in this world. So do not think about ideal person, that I have not got the ideal person, or I do not have the ideal person in my life. But with that person who could be of a broken, sinful being, we need to think and be ready to glorify God with that limitation, with the person that God has given to you in your life. So there is no thing as ideal time or ideal age to get married, because the ideal time is not going to come. But you think about all these things that I've said, and see whether you are actually ready for the marriage or not. If you're not ready for marriage, pray about it, have a deeper relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, and He will make a way, and prepare yourself from today. If you are, especially in the age group that you are considering marriage. So I'll see you in the next episode we are going to talk about who could be your ideal spouse. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.